Welcome to the Heron Heads podcast. My name is Julio, and I'm joined today by some friends and fellow Inter Miami fans, Jose and Chris. And on behalf of the guys, we want to thank you for joining us for episode 10 here on the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. For those of you watching on YouTube, thanks for stopping by, and make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoy the show. Before we begin, we'd like to take a minute to thank our supporters on Patreon. A very special shout out to Art for officially becoming our first Heron Head supporter. If you feel so inclined to support us on Patreon, you will find a link in a description wherever you are listening. And if you don't feel so inclined, that's totally okay too. We appreciate you being here. One last note, you may notice that we are down a man tonight. Dave is out for today's episode dealing with some illness, so we hope he has a speedy recovery so he'll be able to join us for our next episode. And now, without further ado, after that long-winded intro, let's talk about this match between Inter Miami and New York Red Bulls, because boy, that was a very fun way to end that match, and I'm so excited to talk about it. So how are we feeling now?
Man, that was a fun match to watch. From beginning to end, on the edge of your seat. It was just nonstop action. We scored that first goal in the beginning of the match, and you, not in the beginning, but towards the middle of the half, and you start feeling kind of good. But then the second half came around, and you're like, "Oh, what's happening here?" So it kind of just kept you guessing, and kept you a little clinched throughout the match. So, but of course, Messi came in, he did his thing, and we're on to the next one.
Guys, we're officially not in last place. That's what I could tell you. We're officially
Feels so good.
It feels good.
Yep.
We just, we finally took the leap. One thing is for certain. There's three things in life that we know are for sure gonna happen. We're gonna die. We're all dying. We all have to pay taxes. And Messi's gonna score a goal. It doesn't matter how many minutes he's gonna be in the game. It's gonna happen. And I thought it was a breath of fresh air. Obviously, just I feel like we're a little bit getting tired already by around that time. Our offense felt like it was lagging something. Obviously, it was lagging the best player in the world. That's what I think it was lagging.
Minor detail.
But yeah, I mean, it was great when he got in. It's like if all of a sudden the office was liquid, total football, just masterclass all around. It was great. It's great to watch.
Yeah, so leading up to the game, we didn't really know what the time management was going to be on Messi. We didn't know if he was going to start, if he was going to sub. I think we all were under the impression that he was not going to play the full 90 minutes, but we didn't know essentially which half he was going to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I held on hope, even though we started hearing a couple hours before the match that he was going to be coming off the bench. I held on to hope. And when he didn't start and we saw the lineup that was announced, there were a lot of really interesting changes that Tata made. It was an opportunity for a lot of the young boys to come out and show us something. Messi was out of the lineup. Busquets was out of the lineup. Jordi Alba was the only one of the big three that remained. But we had Robert Taylor again at right wing back. We had Toto Aviles getting a start again after he had a nice showing against Cincinnati. And then we had Fadia starting up top as sort of a winger striker hybrid. And then Gomez got the start again, which was to me a little surprising, but I think that might be trying to work through his growing pains. And I really want to talk about these young guys because they all impressed me tonight in different ways. Gomez kind of, Kramaski, who came on later, just great awareness, and he feels like more of a finished product within this team than some of these other guys. I mean, Gomez, we ragged on him last couple matches, and
really since the beginning of the Leagues Cup.
Yeah,
that his first game out there, he just wasn't showing it to us, and we were just hating on him a lot. Honestly,
and he started this game in the same way, in a similar fashion. I mean, we were texting in the chat saying, "Here we go again." And
I don't know how many times I said Gomez. No.
He feels so slightly off but it's very obvious when you're watching. And then he hit that goal in the 30th minute, and it felt like everything changed. 36th minute, I'm sorry. Everything changed for him. He really grew into the game after that.
With these young guys, it just feels like bringing these guys in, we're already starting to have a little bit of a sense of our finished product, what it has to look like, right? At least that's what I felt like today, where I was watching Facundo in the top, and I was watching him with Campana, and then when Messi came into the game, I was like, this needs to be our starting front right there. Those three, when we can get them all three rolling, I think that's the way to go. I think Robert Taylor has to come off the bench. It's just it is what it is. I don't like him at right wing back. I don't like him, and he's too hot and cold for the players that he's playing around. He shouldn't be so hot and cold. He's literally at left wing. He's playing in between Campana, Messi on the top, right? He was playing mostly with Joseph, and then you have Alba on the left wing back. Where today I felt like he was carrying the offense a lot today, just constantly bringing the ball up, great runs. Great passes inside. We just weren't finishing. Gomez had an opportunity today with one of the most beautiful passes that Alba played into the box, and I was like, man, you just have to be better prepared for that pass. You're playing with greatness. You're playing with greatness. Just be ready always.
And that was early. That was like around 10 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was in that beginning portion. That was in the beginning portion that we said we were like, what is this guy doing? But like you said, he scored that goal and like everything just turned around. He was playing great defense. He was making these crazy passes that were like, what just happened?
Very intelligent ones, yeah.
Right. He was playing very smart. So I don't know what switch turned on after that goal. Maybe he just needed to see the ball hit the back of the net, but it was a complete, 180. It was.
There's a reason why we've stuck with this guy, right? There's a reason because he's obviously being picked single-handedly by Tata and saying, I get it, you're going through a rough patch. We need to get through this because you're the guy. You're gonna be the guy. Which for me, as just watching, I'm like, man, but Kremasky's already playing at a great level. I don't understand. Maybe he just sees Gomez as just like a more complete product that could be.
Well, maybe that's exactly it. Maybe Kremasky's already established or in good form or just understands the system a little bit better, and Gomez hasn't. But we're going to need Gomez because we're going to need to continue to rotate. So working through whatever we needed to work through with Gomez in the long run may pay dividends, even though there's growing pains right now.
We're seeing that. We're seeing the tired legs right now.
Yeah,
and we're not even anywhere near we just started the MLS season, and I kind of was hoping, as all of us here were, I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to kind of sub out a lot of our starters by I mean, as many people as we can, just for young guys to just get more leg run underneath them, but. Unfortunately, it was a really tight game the whole time, so we weren't really able to do that.
Yeah, but, I mean, we were able to bring on Robbie Robinson.
We were.
They brought on Kremasky for Farias, who had a really nice game. And I mean, they brought on the big guns. They brought on Yedlin, which they had to. They had to take out Taylor. Yeah. He's not a defender. I feel kind of bad that he's being forced into that spot.
Yeah, and it's funny because last episode we said that Tata was gonna scratch it off, and he did it. He stayed with it. So that was really surprising when we saw the starting 11. We're like, oh, okay.
I don't know if he sees that like Gomez, where he's like, "No, this has to work." I'm like, "No, please don't. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work." Yedlin is like, as much as we like kind of like get on Yedlin, because he does miss a lot of tackles sometimes, and it starts to run on the other way. Sometimes it's a little like he makes some weird decisions on offense, but overall he's in the MLS he's one of the top backs, right? He's pretty good at what he does.
Yeah.
But that guy is in the future. Obviously, he's our right wing back, right? Alba's our left wing back,
right?
You start seeing Facundo Arias on the top. You start seeing Campana, Messi, and then everything in between is kind of like
figuring it out.
We haven't figured that out yet. Obviously, Busquets is somewhere in there. We tried last game putting him at center back. I don't know if I liked it, to be honest. Maybe it was because he was tired. That could be too.
Yeah. I just don't think we have the depth behind Yedlin. I don't think we have anyone really that's serviceable. To that point, I was surprised that Noah Allen started at center back.
Yeah, and that was interesting too.
Christoph wasn't even in the lineup, so they just fully said, sit this one out.
He said, dude, you're tired.
Yeah, so I would have thought that they would have put Allen, even if it was out of position, still at wingback, just to, at least he's a defender by trade, whereas Taylor's there and he got cooked on a couple runs by Red Bulls. I mean, he was getting spun. He committed to sliding down and leaving his feet a couple times, and you just could tell he was uncomfortable in the situation. So you felt bad for him, and it's hard to get into a rhythm when you're being asked to do something that's completely outside of your game. So I feel kind of bad for Taylor. I'm a big fan of his, and he's made for some great moments in our club's history. But yeah,
you
I
can't
think
really
he's in a tough spot.
You can't really fault him for that. He's not a defender. I don't know what. I would love to know what's going through Tata's mind
I just
doing that, because I don't think he's spoken about it, right? Yeah, just
No.
depth in general, but he hasn't spoken about that at all. So
I think
it
that's
hasn't killed us.
what Julio
Yeah,
just said.
it's true.
I think that's what it is. There's just not another guy behind Yellen, and so they're like, yo, if we could plug you in on that spot, you're gonna get a lot of minutes on that spot. Our team needs that, right? We need a guy that can fill in for Yellen. But maybe they bring in Noah Allen on that side. I almost wonder if that's the next move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think right now, at least, we're relying on our wingbacks to provide on offense, and we know that Taylor can provide on offense at times. And the thought is that he's not going to need to be relied on so heavily on defense. But you have to take then the defensive possessions. You have to live with it.
We
And
just
you
need
just
Danny
understand it.
Carvajal. That's what we need. We need to bring in Danny
perfect.
Carvajal. Yeah, and we'll be.
Why not? So for the time being, we have these young guys. Like I mentioned, I thought Farias had a really nice game. I mean, he feels like really promising and exciting young player. He had some runs and some really tight dribbling that completely just allowed him to blow by defenders. There was one that he took with his back to goal, kind of far away from the penalty box, but he like received it at his feet and then turned and twisted away from the defender and just left him in the dust and like totally ran away from him. I was super impressed.
We saw it a couple of times. He's just electric with the ball, man. He's fast. His dribbling is on point. The ball stays so close to his feet. It's really impressive to see him, and it's exciting. It really is.
Arias, and I put Arias in the same level as Kromaski in the sense of like, I think they've established themselves and they're totally getting the offense, right? And I'm putting Aviles, our center back, right? He's talented. And I'm putting him in the same thing as Gomez, where it's like we need to work through their kinks.
Yeah,
but they have the talent though. They have the talent. And the moment we start getting these guys up and running, I'm a little worried because I see Kromaski as a collision course, $30 million transfer, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I feel like Aviles. I understand Aviles' game more than I do Gomez's right now. Aviles just has these momentary lapses where he lunges a little bit at times. He almost pulls himself out of position when he doesn't need to. So he's taking more time to acclimate than Farias. Farias gets it. Like he missed a couple passes, I think one to Messi, but outside of that, like he was seamless. I mean, he just adds a dynamism to the attack that is a notch above Taylor when he plays out left. Right, because Farias was operating a lot from the left.
Right. I feel like Farias he just clicks with Messi for whatever reason that may be. Jose's theory or whatever it is, but it seems like they just click, and he knows how to play with Messi, and Messi seems to enjoy playing with him as well, because they seem like they're just in the right
Chris, it's a thing. It's a thing in FIFA. That's what I was talking about that day. It's a thing. They're all from the same country, so they automatically know how to play with each other. I don't know to tell you that they do that in FIFA. They do it here as well. I don't know to tell you. It makes sense. We're watching it before our eyes. It's obvious
to the real world.
I thought Farias, the guys, they know how to play with each other. I don't know what to tell you.
To your point, I thought Farias played really well off Campana. Campana seemed to sort of drag defenders away and allow Farias a lot of room to operate and be dangerous. So I'm really excited to see. It makes me question what is our best 11, and I think Farias can easily work his way into that conversation if we continue to see his form like this.
I think we're getting to it though, right? Like we're understanding. You have to be blind to not see that Arias has the higher upside than Taylor. Campana has a higher upside than Joseph. Joseph, when he played the last game and they just subbed him in, it was brilliant as a sub. He's brilliant. You just want to have that same level of excellence throughout the game. So Campana brings it for a lot longer than Joseph, or maybe bring in Joseph the first half and then put in Campana for the whole second half. It doesn't matter. But ultimately, these guys right now they're tired. They're all tired.
Yeah.
So you gotta go through this rough patch.
Without a doubt.
What I said remember what I said last podcast? After LAFC game. So we're 1-0. We have 3 games. We're 1-0. We have 2 more games. We need to win the next 2. Now we have. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So after Gomez scored in the 36th minute, really nice play. Farias actually earned a free kick from the right side, and I believe Taylor swung it in. It kind of got cleared away. No, Alba took that one. Alba took the free kick.
Yeah.
Got cleared away. I think from there Taylor received it way at the top of the box, passed it out to Noah Allen, who crossed it. And when he crossed it, I was like, that's not a very good cross, but it went straight to Gomez, who was wide open. It was him right beside Campana at the penalty spot, essentially. There was one defender to guard both of them, and the defender had no idea what to do. And Gomez, with a really nice finish, he took 2 touches, caught the ball, like trapped the ball, turned, and finished really tidy. Really tidy. I was so happy for him because he needed something. And he, from that point on, like we talked about, really grew into the game. Really impressed. So go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say I think it goes back to, not to my own horn, but from what I mentioned last episode, is we got through that defensive wall. Really on both scores, we got through that defensive wall, and we took the shot. The goalie's not very good, right? There were also very good shots, but we got through the defense and we were able to score on them. That was the number one thing. I think how many shots on goal that we have today? I think it was 4, 6. I just saw it a little while ago, but it was very low compared to what we've been used to. So it was very interesting to see that, and luckily we were able to get those 2 shots in. But to tell you the truth, their defense didn't play horrible all game. New York's defense, they're actually pretty good. They held us to 1-0 the whole match until the very end. So it was nice to see us get through that defensive wall and be able to score.
I was disappointed at one of the shots, and I've been talking about Facundo this whole pod, but he had an opportunity when it was point blank range, and he was to the right of the goal, and it was I think it was a free. It may have been a free kick. That it was, or it was a cross, and somehow it bounced, and he found it at the right side of the goal, and he just clipped it because he wanted to take another touch. You guys remember that play?
Yeah, it's just a matter of comfort and sort of just understanding.
It had to be quicker. I think the more he plays, he's gonna understand a lot more, because he
and he'll have more
found himself in a
himself.
perfect spot. He just found himself in the perfect spot.
Yeah, he did all the work, but then when he got it, he kind of just had a lapse. Yeah, we had 3 shots on target tonight.
Yeah, I was just gonna clarify that 3 shots on target and 6 shot attempts. So they held us back. Yeah, they did their job, But ultimately, we got through.
Yeah. So once we scored in the 36th minute, got to halftime pretty comfortably. I think we had 55% possession, somewhere around there, and then we come out. No changes at halftime for us. New York made a couple changes, and they came out on the front foot and really just pinned us back for big stretches. And it just felt like it was set piece after set piece, corner after corner. And I just wanted to crawl into a shell and just let me know when these set pieces are done and I can come back out.
Yeah. It was that little run or that 2-minute span was like 3 corners back to back to back. It was. Yeah. I even texted you guys, I'm like, what's going on? And then you said, corner hell, get me out of this corner hell, or whatever it was. Because man, it was like it was nonstop.
In that whole section of the game that they should have scored, and thank God our boy Calendar came through. He I don't know who was the man of the match. I would say him. I would say him mostly because just the effort that he was putting out to play to win. There was a play that was to the right side that he headed it out of bounds. It was an extremely athletic play.
It's so bad for him because right afterwards, they threw it in and we gave up a corner immediately afterwards. He tried so hard. Well, he successfully
He
avoided
did
giving
it.
away a
He
corner
hit it
and he
straight out of
headed it.
bounds.
Yeah, he
He
headed
cleared it.
straight out to the side for a throw in, and then immediately we gave away a corner. But yeah, Calendar's tremendous, man. This guy's unbelievable. This was our first MLS League game with a clean sheet since March, early March.
Wow.
It's good.
And I attribute it not only to our defense playing a little bit better, but man, Calendar saved a goal without a doubt, at least in this game.
Yeah, he had one. It was it off a set piece? I don't remember now, but it was off the tip of his hands, right on the crossbar. If he tipped it by a hair, if it wasn't for that, it probably would have had a goal. I'm pretty sure it was off a set piece, if I remember correctly.
According to SofaScore, New York Red Bulls had an XG of 1.5. They left the game with 0 goals. I would say a large part due to Drake Calendar and Kamal Miller cleared about 17,000 balls out of the box.
How many XGs did we have?
2.12. I would say that Messi's XG on the second goal is probably a full 0.99999999. So yeah, I think it's a big concern moving forward. Our defensive set pieces, it just feels like we're not confident in our set piece defense. And on the broadcast, they even showed that we are the worst, the team with the most goals allowed on set pieces. So it's a problem moving forward.
But it was nice to see Kamal Miller clear out so many, because like you said, it's our weakest point, right? So it's nice to see someone step up and really grab the bull by the horns, no pun intended, and clear those out of there.
I see what you did there. Kamal Miller is a great player, but one thing I've read about him, and I'm starting to like look at it now. He's a guy that for some reason he's not someone that we're noticing that would steal the ball. You guys notice that he doesn't cause a lot of turnover. He doesn't anticipate very well. Something I want him to work on. I believe it's on the scouting report. It's something that people are noticing. Christoph, on the other hand, he's our guy that when he's great anticipation, constantly gets in the way of these plays, these balls. Aviles is doing pretty well with that as well. But Kamal is that was something I noticed. I've been noticing lately. But today he had a run that I was like, brother, what are you doing up there?
He does that like once or twice a game. It never fails.
Like, he thinks he's a striker.
Read the room. Like, you're not a striker. Like, we're trying to like conserve energy here, and this guy just bolting up the pitch. He's like, I want to play with Messi. I want to give him an assist.
Can you blame him? Can you blame him?
You know.
So let's talk about Messi. So we would be remiss not to, right? So Messi comes on in the 60th minute. These people that paid at least $450 to see Messi get a good half hour with him. So Messi comes on, and we're still completely under the gun. We've been under a lot of pressure for the 15 minutes leading up to that in the second half. And Messi comes on with Busquets and Yedlin to calm the game down, right? Let's get a grip back on this game. Let's maybe get our second goal, which I felt like we desperately needed. I thought our 3 points were in tremendous jeopardy.
They're playing very aggressively that half. So yeah, it was definitely needed.
So before the goal, Messi had a ball that was played into him that he collected in the box with like a high. He put his boot up pretty high to collect it, and he almost got a shot off, but he got kind of pinned to the end line. He blows my mind with everything he does. He gets the ball and just turns away. He doesn't always make so much space for himself, but he makes enough where he can do whatever he wants. Like, he doesn't need a ton of space.
There was a play today. I don't know if you guys there was a play today where he was bolting up the pitch. He had Alba on his left side, wide open. He decided, nah, I'm turning around. I'm doing a little spin move. I'm bringing it right back into the right side, which I thought was like silly. I mean, Alba's a very good player, right? But
he knows better.
But he's like, no, I see you, no. And he's like, I'm gonna have 5 guys on me. I don't care. Do you see the people that came here? They didn't come to see you. They came to see me. What is it called? Red Bull Stadium?
Yeah, Red Bull Arena.
No, it was called Messi Stadium. What was the attendance?
Let's just say it was sold out.
80% were there to see Inter Miami. Let's just leave it at that. right? It was we painted the red and blue with pink and black. That's it. And in Times Square, they put the game on. Everyone was there cheering for Messi. It is what it is. This guy, he brings the hype. He brings the fire. Like today, the game was totally different when he got in the game. It was very fun to watch. Again, it's another game where we're like, oh, we're seeing the same thing every day. Oh wow, this guy comes in and he does amazing things. Yeah, it's just it is what it is.
It's so effortless. He just makes it look so easy. So
He
let's talk
Nice
about
to-
the goal.
He got there and he was like, "I'm gonna dominate." I'm telling you right now. I saw it and he's like, "No, I'm gonna dominate. I'm gonna win. That's it. I'm not gonna leave it a draw. It's not gonna be a draw."
But before we talk about the goal, the whole stadium was chanting for Messi. A lot of the game. They're chanting,
incredible.
"We want Messi" in New York against Messi.
I would be remiss that one thing I saw Hercules Gomez tweet out the other day. He's like, I don't understand how somebody can after a game after this guy whoops you. Like you want to get his jersey signed and trade things. I mean, I get it. He's an all time great. Like when the hell am I ever going to suit up against this guy again? But I don't totally disagree with him, right? Like when in basketball, do you ever see after the NBA finals? Hey, let's switch jerseys, huh? It was a great series we just had. You think Bird and Magic ever did that? No,
Definitely not.
No.
Definitely not. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one for me. I would go to Messi if he just beat my ass.
Right? Yeah, it's just an all-time great, But like it's just interesting
it's
how
tough.
it is
tough.
different because that's not something that.
And that's also something that's very, I guess, in a way, traditional in the sport is exchanging jerseys. Like that's something that goes back a long time.
But it was
I guess this is in reference to Brandon Vasquez after the Cincinnati match.
Yes.
So he exchanged jerseys with Messi, and I believe he asked Messi to sign it. Yes. And obviously Vasquez got some backlash. I don't know. Yeah. I think that's a tough one.
I would have done it. I'm not saying correct. But me saying that is not saying much, right? Like I'm not a competitor.
Right, you're not a professional soccer player.
I already know he's better than me. He's gonna kick my ass every time we play soccer. But the question becomes, okay, well, did you think that too? When you're like, all right, let's just do it,
Yeah, I'm not sure how it's gone in every match, but I think in some matches, Messi goes up to the player and is like, yo, you could have my jersey, which is such a badass move. So let's talk about this goal.
I was going to say no, right? Like,
yeah. Although that would be kind of the most badass. Be like, I'm good. I'll pass. No, thank you. Keep your kit. All right. I don't deal with the people that exactly. Let me keep my pride intact. So let's talk about this goal because this goal was one of the prettiest team goals that I've seen, maybe ever, probably ever.
Total football. Literally.
And I never would have expected to say that about an Inter Miami goal, but yet here we are.
Oh, so pretty.
So Busquets is running down the right side, switches the play over to Alba. It's kind of long, and Alba has to do an over-the-head kick to save it. He redirects the ball right into the path of Messi, who's in the box. Messi collects it, turns, spins. There's 3 people on him. He then hits an outside the boot pass over to the right side of the box where Kramaski's running in behind. And when he played the pass, I thought that J.R. Tolkien, who was over playing a left back, was going to be able to get there ahead of Kramaski. But Tolkien was so caught off guard by the pass that Kramaski had enough time to go from almost a standstill to beating Tolkien, who had a better angle to the ball, and get to the ball. Kramaski plays it back across. The 3 guys that were around Messi have completely forgotten that Messi exists because they were so in shock by the pass that he played. Messi's wide open in the middle of the ball, in the middle of the mouth of the goal, and he just taps it in. Easiest goal of his career,
probably.
He could have walked it in the most disrespectful way. It was
he could have gotten on all fours and just headed it in. Tolman said it was one of the prettiest, most ridiculous passes he's ever seen.
I was gonna say that he said it's the nicest pass he's ever seen.
Which one?
That's saying something,
The Alba bicycle kick to Messi.
That one was nuts.
Messi to Kramaski, the Kramaski to Messi. Which one
was so good? Beautiful. It was so pretty. It
was ridiculous. That whole sequence.
And when Kramaski hits it back, I'm like, oh my god! Wait, no, of course it's Messi. I was like, of course.
How the hell is that guy right in the middle by himself?
So beautiful. The script haters are just they're doing the Sheldon throwing the papers in the air.
Well, they would have preferred it to be closer, right? They would have preferred to go to. 90th minute, Messi. What a
Oh
goal!
yeah, that's true. That's true. He did his best. He did his best. He scored in the 89th minute. So close. Do better, Messi, honestly. We're trying to have a spectacle here. So Messi scores his first MLS goal officially. And that was, for all intents and purposes, the end of the game. Inter Miami win 2-0. And by way of Toronto FC losing tonight against Columbus Crew, we are, as Jose alluded to earlier, no longer in last place in the East.
Congratulations, everybody.
So we currently sit on 21 points. We are 14 points back of Montreal, who must have won tonight. Chicago is actively in a match right now. And, there's still work to do. We have 11 matches left. We still have 2 in hand. And next up will be Nashville on Wednesday. And they'll be looking for revenge as we present the League's Cup trophy to our home crowd. I feel like that's our first home game in forever. It's been a month or so since we played at home. So that'll be really fun for everyone in Miami who's just had to watch from afar and watch this madness just sweep the nation. And, finally our team will be back. And I think in large part, that's why Tata rested so many of our marquee people, was to have them ready for this game, which granted is against much tougher opposition than New York Red Bulls, if we're being honest.
Oh yeah, Nashville. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun game. That one, and then after that, the LAFC game. Both of those are bangers. They're both gonna be very, very tough opponents.
Yeah,
And
Nashville's
I believe
coming back.
LAFC lost today, by the way. LAFC lost today to Charlotte, which is funny because we
That's
played
not good for
Charlotte.
us.
That's not good.
We need
That's not
Charlotte
good
to be
for us.
dropping points.
No. I know.
I know you're not saying it as a good thing, but
No, I'm not. It would have saw. When I saw it, I was like, "Damn it, we need that to especially against LAFC. Like, really, you couldn't win. Come on." But no. I mean, I'm saying that because we just beat Charlotte. Isn't that the game that I don't have it in front of me? But wasn't that one of the games that we just?
Yeah, we steamrolled them.
Yeah, think about that. So now these people beat them 2-1. I think it was, and
it was at home. We fly out to LA. I think
it's
that's a
setting
much
up
different.
We have a nice little stretch of games that I think will be very telling.
Yeah, I think it's a different ball game if we're playing at LA. They played in Charlotte tonight. Charlotte won 2-1. Montreal just surprised me by beating New England. I thought they were going to drop points there, but hey, I think at the end of the day, we still need to get to that 42 to 45 point zone, and we just got to take care of our business. If we get there, I'm not too concerned.
Oh yes. Yeah, I was arguing today with my dad. He was, "We're gonna win it all. Just watch. We're gonna win it all." I'm like, "Dad, I don't know if we're gonna even make the playoffs. Just not talking about we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna win. And get over it." Okay.
Did you say, Dad, do you even watch the podcast?
He doesn't know.
Big fan. Bandwagon.
So
taking a look at this game, what concerns you, if anything, as we move forward?
I have a huge concern. When Messi's not playing, I'm very concerned.
Yeah, so to kind of explain more of what Jose's trying to say, I think the whole the resting is what really concerns me, and the amount of games that they're going to be playing. They showed a graphic on the broadcast today that showed specifically just Messi, the upcoming games that he has. Starting August 30th against Nashville, he has a game between MLS and national team. He has a game about every 4 days, all the way up till the end of September, till September 27th. So are we going to rest him again? How often are we going to rest him again? He has a tough schedule coming up. There's a span of, 8 games in the month of September, every four days.
Jeez.
Why do
that
you
worries
say that?
me.
Why do you say that, Chris? Is it because of Argentina?
Yeah. He said between MLS
it's
and national.
Between MLS and national team, he has every 4 days he has a match.
And so those games for Argentina are World Cup qualifiers. So I would imagine, is going to be playing or expected to play.
Right. So, and that's worrisome.
That's very worrisome.
Yeah. So yeah.
I agree with those points. I think that's our biggest concern right now. I was surprised with how well we played without Messi and Busquets, which is promising.
We did, but we didn't also, right?
But look, we're rotating people that haven't played together. I was surprised. Let me rephrase. I was surprised with how well we possessed the ball and the confidence with which we played without Messi and Busquets. That surprised me.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I think the young guys are stepping up. You know, I just not I see the level of masterclass difference when he's in.
I mean, of course.
And it's going to be worrisome that we're not going to have that to fall back on while he's gone.
Yeah, I would imagine a lot of these games.
There's no lever. There's no safety lever. Hey, 60th minute, bring in the big dog. No.
Well, I imagine we'll see a combination of that and a combination of him being subbed off at the 60th minute. We'll see 60-minute appearances or 70-minute appearances, and then 20-minute, 30-minute super sub appearances. And I don't think we're going to see a ton of 90-minute appearances for the foreseeable future.
We all predicted this, right? For this game.
Yeah.
It's not something that we're like super shocked with, because it's a game you could have done it. We could have survived without him in this game. You know,
I predicted 2-0, but
we did.
I feel like my prediction of a Gomez goal was bolder to have come true, but calling the correct score is pretty noble of you.
Hey, but to give you guys credit, I think it was Julio and David both mentioned it. This isn't really the same team, even without the big three. It isn't the same team as it was before with these new additions that we have, and we saw it tonight. We saw them step up tonight, so it's true. It isn't the same team, and they did play much better than they were before these additions. So it was very nice to see that.
Totally agree. I'm really looking forward to seeing these young guys, through the stretch, the rest of the season, and next up, Nashville. We'll have a preview episode out on Tuesday ahead of the match. I guess Monday night if you're a night owl, but it'll be out Tuesday for most people. As always, thank you for tuning into the Heron Heads podcast, your first place for all things Inter Miami. Follow us everywhere at the Heron Heads. Heron Heads, just search our name and we'll be sure to pop up. And thanks for everything. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Yeah.